So I've talked a little bit about this in my raving reviews, but by the time the 90s came around, the true muscle car era was pretty much over. I mean, you had the 4th gen Camaro out, the 3rd gen Camaro, the Fox body, and the Mustang, and the Corvette, but for the big family sporty car, the market was pretty much dead. You didn't have the CTSV yet, you didn't have the Marauder, but they did have the B-body Caprice. And John Moss came up and was like, hey, we need to make a 60s style muscle car again. We're going to turn the Caprice into the Impala SS, and we're going to have ourselves a brand new muscle car. And GM really didn't think that much about it. They didn't think it was going to do much, and they had a limited production run of 94, 5, and 6, and come to find out, it was a pretty good selling car. This was easily one of the best muscle cars to come out of that era, if not one of the best of all time. And of course, there's always the debate on 2-door versus 4-door, but this car is every bit 60s muscle. So my story with this 1996 Impala SS comes in 4 years ago, and I was looking specifically for a low mileage 96 Impala SS. I've been trolling around for one for a little while, and I came across 3 potential ones. We had a 30,000 mile unit down in San Antonio, which was pretty close to me, but the guy was, guy really had a hard time getting a hold of him, getting any information done on it. Then there was a 4,000 mile unit over in Alabama, and then a 17,000 mile unit up in Kentucky. Now, the thing about the one over in Alabama is it didn't look quite right. It didn't look like it should have 4,000 miles on it. The carpet was a little bit funky. The interior was starting to wear on it. Those are common problems on the car, but you shouldn't really see it at 4,000 miles. So that one wasn't quite the big deal. I was in the market for going down to San Antonio and picking up the 30,000 mile example, and the guy just kind of ghosted me. So I wound up talking to the guy in Kentucky. Made a pretty good offer over the phone, told him, look, I'm going to be driving a hell of a long way to come and get this car. I'm coming from Texas. He's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, look, I'm going to leave out at 9 o'clock tonight. I'll be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. He's like, oh, you're talking tomorrow? I said, yeah, I'm talking tomorrow. I'll be there. He's like, okay. And of course, no sooner than I made those plans, the guy from San Antonio called and said he'd do a little better price than this one, but at that point, this one had half the miles for only a couple grand more, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I've already made a deal, I'm going to follow through on it. So me and my sister, my brother-in-law loaded up our 03 Power Stroke and started headed out, and we left at 9 o'clock. Now, I'm a night owl. Anybody that sees my upload schedule can tell I'm up all hours of the night. So I drove from 9 o'clock at night till about 5 o'clock in the morning. I just got on the other side of Memphis, Tennessee whenever I crapped out. My brother-in-law, he's more of a morning person, so he took over and he drove all the way into Kentucky, all the way through Tennessee, Nashville, and into, not Nashville. That was one of them in Tennessee. We went through there and went up toward Bowling Green, Kentucky. We stopped there for the morning, and I came up there, and the guy met me at the local police station. He was a little bit paranoid, you know, the weirdo coming from Texas at all hours of the night. But we went at the police station. The car was everything as described, still had the original tires on it. I mean, it was in really pristine condition. Had a couple of minor scratches on it. It was actually a dealership preview car. So the dealership manager drove it around for a few years, and the car was eventually sold to this guy as a one-owner car. It was sold to this guy in 1998. So the dealership held on to it for a couple of years and put a couple of thousand miles on before they sold it, but it was still technically a new car sale because it was in the dealership's name. But the guy had paperwork on it. We ran a Carfax on it. It's 100% legit, 17,000 mile example. So yeah, we made the deal and turned around and came back and stopped at Bowling Green for the Corvette Museum. Did that a little bit. I was dead tired by that point. My brother-in-law drove back through Tennessee. He refuses to drive through Tennessee to this day because of that. But yeah, we went all the way back, and by the time I got back around to Texarkana, I was actually starting to just get angry for no reason because I'd been driving it was a 31-hour trip, and I drove like 24 of it. The longest trip I've ever been on. But we got the car back there and got it back here, and I had intention of making it a daily driver, but it's the miles are so low on it, and you don't find them like this. It's become more of a garage queen investment, and it may be getting sold in the next few months. I don't know yet. But yeah, the car's definitely gone up in value at this point. But yeah, that's been my story of the 96 Impala SS with obscenely low miles. As always, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you enjoy these videos and you want to see more. If you got a car story, drop a comment down below because I'd love to hear it.